Through 11, the ability to speak, something many of us just take for granted.
But every day, 1 million Americans have to find another way to make their voices heard. 7 Action News reporter Malcolm Maddox has the story.
You know, my father is a professional singer, and I'd like to believe I got my voice from him. It's my voice that helped me get my first job in radio and helped me make the decision to move from behind the camera to in front of it. That being said, I've never given my voice much thought, or more importantly, the ability to speak. That is until now. Music is its own reward, mathematical and analytical, while at times defying logic and requiring no explanation. It is a language unto itself. There was a time when Lewis Smith was bilingual. He played, made, and interpreted music at the highest level, along with such greats as Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, and even Count Basie.
1, 2, 3, 4 CDs for Blue Note during that period of time in the 60s.
After releasing those first few albums on the famed Blue Note Records, Lewis decided to return to the place his musical vocabulary began to take shape, Ann Arbor, where he would eventually meet his wife of 38 years.
When he first came here, he was teaching jazz band for junior high students. After about a couple of years at the University of Michigan.
His alma mater. He would go on to become an adjunct professor at U of M as he continued recording and performing around the world.
He used to go to France and other countries to play, and people knew him better.
Lewis Smith's musical career spans 6 decades. In that time, he released more than a dozen records, but in 2005, the music stopped.
Like that.
He suffered a massive stroke, even unable to speak. His wife Lulu was advised to place him in a nursing home, but she had a better idea. She took him home to the University of Michigan, where they're getting amazing results working with people with various communicative disorders such as aphasia.
Aphasia is a loss of language that can occur from neurological injuries such as stroke, which is the most common form.
When I first met Lewis at that time, he wasn't understanding language, he wasn't verbalizing language, he wasn't reading or writing. He basically sat in front of me and looked at me.
Realizing he had his work cut out, Dr. Gordon Cranen decided Lewis's road to recovery should begin with a language in which he was all too familiar.
Music can be very key in therapy for a lot of people who have aphasia. Music will access the language areas that are still intact through a different area of the brain, typically through the right side of the brain.
Nearly a decade has passed, and in that time, Lewis has made a tremendous amount of progress.
Unfortunately, his verbal expression did not come back, but his comprehension did. But more importantly, his love of music was always retained, and that, I think, really saved his quality of life.
Lewis has a long road to recovery ahead of him, but he's in good hands. The aphasia program at the University of Michigan is one of the best in the country, but the major obstacle they face is funding. If you'd like to help out, you are in luck because there is a jazz concert benefiting the aphasia program in honor of Lewis Smith. It's taking place this weekend. It's at Bab's Underground Lounge in Ann Arbor. It takes place this Sunday from 2 until 4. Your attendance will speak volumes. We have more information on our website, WXYZ.com. Back to you.
Wow, music is so very important. Thank you, Malcolm, for that story.
Well,
you were a music major?
I was a music major in college, and music to me is so healing just on a daily basis. Just when you're all stressed out, music does that. And so to see that and to see how it can be literally medically healing is a
I mean, it truly is, and you know they do it in hospitals as well. But now let's talk about the weather and storms this weekend.